Just a quick disclaimer that though the term conservative and homophobic are used interchangeably here, I refer to a group of conservatives that are homophobic and transphobic. Conservatives do not hold such views by definition. Rather, the Republican Party that exists within the American government has largely pushed homophobic and transphobic agendas to make civilians attack each other, distracting them from many of the war crimes that the US still commits to this day. Also, any homophobic and transphobic comments made are either satirical or supposed to argue its ranking on the tier list. That's why sexual and borderline non-binary, I do not intend to purport these views, but joke about them in a spirited manner.
Well, Pride Month's almost over. We might as well rank some pride flags. The classic straight flag. As a former straight person, allegedly, I kind of have a problem with this flag. See the black and white, it's too contrasty. It's giving robber, you know? It's giving very much Outlaw. It's giving Outlaw vibes. I do not like this flag. It is very unpleasing to look at. Ever so slightly problematic, I'm gonna go D here. I much prefer this flag, this grayscale gradient flag. It doesn't have those proud colors, but it's aesthetically pleasing. So the cishets would love this one. Put it in F. Finally, we got the last of the straight flags, the straight ally flag. Now yes, they're on the same team, but they're not on the same team. This one I'm putting in B tier. They're on the side of God, but could sway a little further. Alright, now we're gonna get to the good stuff. We have the updated general pride flag. Now, I'll be honest, this is a lot to take in. I mean, we've got the gay rainbow colors, we've got the trans colors, we got the minorities, we got the intersexes, and it's everybody's being included. I mean, it's one thing to be a homophobe, it's another thing to be a homophobe when the general gay flag is this giant color scheme. To the bigoted, it gives someone a hemorrhage, epilepsy even. This one's going full S tier. Next we got the original gay flag. Simple. Rainbows, they took it from the Noah's Ark. It's going in A. Now admittedly, conservatism is mostly against like the sexual nature of homosexuality. I mean, they don't want sex being shoved in their kids, except when it comes to the Bible, of course. And that being said, they would probably treat homoromanticism different than homosexuality. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's just like two people loving each other, like a classic PG-13 romance. Ain't nothing promiscuous about it. Putting this in B tier. Because a lot of people in that group probably won't be as understanding as I think they're gonna be. It's definitely gonna be treated different. I just realized I'm referring to these as flags. I'm supposed to be ranking sexualities. However, I am ranking it based on both the flag design and the sexuality. That said, I still approve of this list. Lesbianism, classic, A tier. The gay men flag, I don't know why gay men hasn't had a specific term like lesbian has. Maybe it's just the gays, I don't know. I say a lot of conservatives will probably have an easier time with the gay men, probably because a lot of them are gay themselves. I mean, every time there's like a Republican National Convention, Bumble just goes absolutely off the charts. For that reason alone, you gotta put up the game face, but it's going in C tier. Bisexual. Now they are half heterosexual. Maybe they could be swayed to the dark side, who knows? C tier. Pan's probably gonna be a similar thing. They're probably like a third hetero. Somewhere in that ballpark. C tier. Biromantic. Okay. Anything that's romantic instead of sexual is gonna go down a tier automatically. Let's just do D tier. Dreamsexual. I remember those days, man. When there were these kids, these 13-year-olds who were just like, oh my god, this Minecraft YouTuber is actually kind of cute. Meanwhile, they only had like a voice and a persona to go off of. Which is strange because it's the same as monosexuality pretty much, except it's targeted toward one guy. Are you kidding? Also, I think he got caught grooming a minor, I can't remember. That being said, it could all be like just thrown away as some random internet fad that all these 13-year-olds are just gonna grow out of eventually. Then again, Dream did say that one time, that's what the mask is. So we're going D tier instead of F tier. Put it over straight. And now that I think about it, put biromanticism over straight. Demisexual. Pretty much friends to lovers. I would call that F tier. Wait, if we're following the sexual romantic rule, we gotta have to put the sexual up a tier higher automatically. Demisexual D tier, romantic F tier above straight. Now that I think about it, demisexual doesn't really like promote sexuality, so like they could probably just go both in F. Now, asexual. is where things get a little dicey because it is within the LGBTQIA plus community, but it also kind of goes against fears of their child, having sex with that boy they just met a month ago. However, it's also encouraging them to never have kids, and parents always want to have those grandkids. So we're gonna put it in C tier below Pam. Aromantic is the same way, pretty much. You can't fall in love in this household, and then it's, oh, why don't you find a girlfriend? Because you didn't tell me to, bitch. Not me though, I'm allosexual. That was just a hypothetical. I say C tier above bi. Thing worse than falling in love with both men and women is probably gonna be falling in love with neither one of them. Polyamory, polygamy, classic. But the flag for that was just ugly. Look at this. This is beautiful, man. We've got 90s graffiti color palettes, man. We got the blue, that nice shade of blue, that nice pinkish shade of red. Oh, that dark purple. Look at the whites on there. And we got the heart that relates to how many people you fall in love with, man. Why do they use pi for the friggin' flag, man? It doesn't mean, what does it even mean? What are we doing? Circles? Are we in love with circles now? Anyways, polyamory was a thing they used to do back in Utah during the days of the early Mormons. A lot of the prominent top conservative men like to engage with multiple women, as we've found in studies. However, it does go against some biblical code, so we're gonna put it in the top of F tier. We got transgender. This has been a heated subject in politics, especially when it comes to sports. Except it still distracts from the fact that they keep helping Israel bomb every single Arab imaginable. Still, they complain about the sports, they complain about the bathrooms. It's just a whole ordeal. They complain about them going into the military, even though they're perfectly fine going to the military, and that it helps their agenda when they go to the military. I am putting this in S tier above the aneurysm flag, for no good reason at all. Non-binary also kind of goes into this thing, but it's more of like, I'm neither one. But it's listed like genital mutilation and more of like physical appearance. So I'm putting this at the top of B. Intersex is confusing to these guys because it totally goes against the whole thing about XY, XX chromosomes and, having chromosomes being analyzed at the Olympics. Even though their existence deflates so many of these transgender arguments, they just ignore it. F below polyamory. Gender fluid is more angering in the sense that make up your mind. First you're like watching football and playing beer, then you're like wearing dresses and playing with dolls, then you're like whatever non-binary stereotype there is out there. Bottom of A tier. Polysexual is very similar to bi and pan. It's below pan because its identification is less common. Wait, I thought I already did this one. Oh, this is dreamgender. God, golly, I forgot that even that existed too. What was even the point of that? Bottom of F tier. Absolute fad. Demigender. I'm not fully versed on demigender from what I understand about it. It's about slightly feeling about a gender. This is like the simplest terms I can put it in for myself. And honestly, I don't think conservatives would put too much time into researching what this is anyway. So I'm just gonna shove them all in the bottom of D. However, this one has a trans flag on it, so that goes in the very bottom. Now the bear flag, although it represents gay men, represents also like manly men, like the burly with the hairs and stuff. For that reason, it gets ranked with gay men, but just directly underneath general gay men. Alright, we got agender. I kind of want to rank it similar to non-binary, but explaining to your parents about that identity and about you having that identity is going to be very confusing for them.
Dad, I'm agender. Okay, which one? No, Dad, I'm agender. You're not a politician. This isn't a yes or no question. Just pick one.
Bottom of B tier. I had to look this one up. It's neutroi, but essentially it's gender neutral. So I'm going to rank it with agender, but put it underneath because the French are cool. I had to look this one up too. This is the Achillean flag. It apparently represents men-loving men culture in general. And I would normally shelve this with other gay men, but it also looks a lot like Israel. So bottom of F tier. underneath everything else. Forget what I said about polyamory. Ambyamory better describes a lot of the prominent conservatives, because it's either or. So just underneath polyamory. This one is omnisexual, and it goes for everyone. All genders, not just men, not just women, everyone. So it's everyone going above both of them, going above any of them. This is the gender flux gender identity, kind of similar to gender fluid. I think conservatives' criteria for it would more be like, okay, it's very similar, if not the same, to gender fluid. But the flag is more aesthetically pleasing, so A tier below fluid. I have never heard of abrosexual before. The LGBTQIA+ wiki says it is an emerging term, enough to warrant being on the wiki. This is not a fluctuation of gender or sexuality, it's a fluctuation of the entire identity. I mean, what's so bad about change, right? However, it's similar enough, I'll put it at the bottom of A. There ain't nothing like a flag that tells you to keep calm and carry on. The drag queen flag. I didn't know they had a flag, but I think it's pretty neat. However, much to my chagrin, they're gonna go high up on this list. I'm gonna put this at S, sandwiching it between transgender and the dementia flag. This is the Maverick flag. It does define one's identity as gendered, but outside of the social construct that is masculinity and femininity. Yeah, I'm partially wrong with that. Like, it exists out of, labels. Gender neutral, male, female, anything in between, while still feeling gendered. And according to this wiki, it says it's characterized by autonomy. I think if you show this sexuality to conservatives, you just call them a liberal. Top of D. I forgot to add abroromanticism alongside abrosexual, but we're just gonna follow the general rule anyways. So we're putting it at the bottom of B. Apparently, this ranked list I've chosen has a Killian, but not Sapphic. How sexist of them to do that, man. How dare you? How dare you? This will probably be shelved alongside lesbian though. Ah yes, gender queer, them damn queers. They can still be turned to the dark side, kinda like the bisexuals. I think I'm gonna put them toward the top of C, above Omni. Dude, a lot of these I can't even find. However, this looks like the Sapphic flag if both of the women got high off of their mind before they did it. So I'm just gonna pretend this is the Sapphic flag and go A tier below lesbian. This is the diamoric pride flag. According to what I read, it relates to sexualities by non-binary people, or people of that umbrella. Attractions that they have toward other people that can't really be described as same sex, different sex, something else. Because of its close association to non-binary, agenderism, and so on, I'm gonna put it with that. But at the bottom of B, because it also kind of looks like Israel. This one is the aromantic asexual flag, or the aroace flag. I'm probably gonna shelve this higher than aromantic, because now they won't choose a partner, and now they won't ever have kids. What is wrong with you? And so on. And now we've got the Spumoni flag. Ugh, every time we go to Specific Day Factory, Spumoni, man. Goated flavor. Never mind, this is gynosexual, my bad. Also, because this encompasses hetero men, especially those that are also attracted to femboys, this won't go very high up on the list. F above straight, androsexual, below gynosexual. I'm noticing some leftover counterparts of previous things we've done. I can't fully identify what they are, so I'm probably just gonna shelve it to their neighbors because it'll get a similar reaction out of conservatives. We got agender lookalikes. We got aroace calligraphy. And we got androsexual calligraphy. I couldn't Google this one by a description of the flag, but it looks kind of like weed, so bottom of F above the Holy Land that was promised to me 300 years ago. Apparently this series of flags is I'm queer, but it's probably because I'm also neurodivergent. That might actually be me because I have autism and ADHD, but who knows. So these answers are also going to be dependent on anything RFK has said in the last few months. So I'm just going to put this at the bottom of D, below all of the demigender constructs. No, wait, I have to put it above straight, don't I? No, wait, it can't be that low. No, it can't be that low because that's the ugly straight flag. Neuroromantic to go below neurosexual. Neurogender to go above neurosexual and neuroromantic. Apparently this one is an alternate gender fluid pride flag. However, it might get confused for asexual or aromantic. I'm gonna put it below these other three. I was unable to find any information on this one, so we're just gonna put it on the bottom. These two are very similar, not gonna lie. An article said that this specific one is the genophilia flag. I have no clue what this is. I was gonna put it with the other pink one. All the rest of these are, I can't find anything, which makes sense because this is a thing about pride flags, not about sexualities. And there's 125 of them, which means you're gonna get a lot of like arbitrary ones, not arbitrary, very uncommon ones. Except this one. Why is the dream flag on here 3 times? It doesn't make any sense. You know what? I'm putting all these in F tier. Bottom of F tier. No. That just means they're not problematic. I forgot how this works. I am going to add a row below. Dream more like nightmare. Rigging it hot pink. Boom. 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 Right where you belong. I'm just gonna have to wing it based on their appearance at this point. Like this one definitely goes under the non-binary category. Freaking non-binary. I keep mixing up non-binary and asexual. Does that make me a bad person? I'm gonna put this actually below asexual because the bottom of the flag is white in terms of melanin. No wait, I was wrong. This is the aromantic flag. It looks similar to that. That might is that. So this is the official what am I saying? This is the official aromantic flag. I guess I'm getting much sleep lately. There's so much left of this list to look up and stuff. I'm just gonna go.
You know, I've done a lot for your community. I entertained you while you were children. Memes made about me carried you through adulthood. I helped bring a beloved video game to a larger audience in a manner seen never before. You can't breathe when I'm not there. But after that stunt you pulled, you crossed the line by